Hi guys, welcome to my first video in my channel. This video is an introduction in Python Django. Today I'll show you how to install and create Python Django project. I'm Python backend developer and I work with Python Django framework. I'd like to teach you how to write sites with Python Django. First of all, you need to do is to install Python. There is a versions of Python. Current version is 3.8.5. You can download Python by clicking this link, Python this version, Python, on the site python.org. Click and Python is downloading. When Python has successfully downloaded, you can click and install it, but don't forget to add Python to path. It's important to work with Python comfortable. Install now and Python will be installed. I can run console and I can write Python. It will launch Python ID in console. I can write here print1 for instance. As you can see, it works, and quit to leave console, Python console. And if I want to look at Python version, I can write like that, Python -- version, enter, and we can see Python 3.8.5. It's a current version of Python on my computer. The next step is to install Django. How to install Django? You visit site django.project.com and there are a lot of links. You click my link, download latest release and the latest version of Django. You click and you are on downloading page. That's the description how to install Django. If you don't know how to install Python models, you can run console. You write in console pip install and name of model you want to install. In our case it's Django. You click enter and Django is downloaded and installing. Django is already on my computer, so I don't need to download it again. I open its Django directory. It will contain my Django project. To create Django project, I need to open console and I need to go to my new directory. It looks like that. We write cd and after white space we write root to our directory. So to create Django, we need to type Django -admin start project, and we need to type name of our project. Let it be Django tutorial. That's all. Django project has been created. The directory has appeared in our root directory. This directory contains a lot of files. Now we are in our root directory, so I'll show you what files mean. Managed by, it's a file that run your server, that manage your server, that start your server. Then we can see files sgi.py, settings.py, urls.py, vsgi.py, and init.py as well. Init.py is the main file. It defines your project like package. sgi and vsgi, we will talk about these files in next lessons. Settings.py is a file that contains all your settings, of your server, of your project. urls.py is a file that contains all routes. Settings.py, this file, as I said, contains a lot of options. For instance, base dir the main directory of your project. Secret key is a unique key of your project. Debug is a mode that switch on, switch off debugging. So it means that if the debug is false, errors will appear in another way. Allowed hosts, it's a variable that contains addresses of your site with HTTP and without. You edit this variable after finishing your project when you shared your site on hosting, and you will write here site address. Then installed apps is a variable that contains all your apps. By default, these applications are installed with creating Django project. Then middleware is a variable that contains all your middlewares. It exists for security. Root URL conf is a variable that contains a URLs file root to it. Templates is options of your template engine. VJ application, as I said, we will talk about it later. Variable databases contains dictionary with options of your databases. Of password validators, it's validators, as you can see. We'll talk about it later. Language code, you can set your language. Time zone, you set your time zone or time zone that you have to set. These two variables are about time zone 2. Time zone is a variable that switching on, switching off following your time zone. And the last variable is static URL. Static URL contains root of your static directory that contains static files. Static files is CSS, JavaScript, and images. The next file is urls.py. This file contains all your URLs settings, URL patterns, and like that. We will talk about this later. Now I just needed to show it to you. So now I'm going to finish up the lesson. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and see ya next time.